I'm sorry I let you get attacked by a werewolf and then into the world.
What's up, guys? Old Head Mike here, Metalcore Mommy Montana, and welcome to our review for the third episode of Lovecraft Country, Holy Ghost. This one's extra spooky.
Kind of slow in the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of like a typical haunted house story. So it's a little slower. They don't want to scare you too much in the beginning, but it was definitely there was still tension for a lot of the time. So spoilers. Obviously, if you've not seen the episode, go watch it. It's just as good as the others. Lots of scares, great music, everything. Hopefully, if you continue watching, you've already seen it, so I don't ruin anything for you. But basically, it's fast forwarded a couple weeks after they return from the mansion. It shows the aftermath of George dying. Sadly, everyone's dealing with it in their own way. His wife is still, kind of fucked up over it. She's curious as to what all happened exactly. Tick is trying to stay strong inside. Tick's dad is, drinking a lot, passing out. Pretty real stuff. So anyways, Letty buys this house. She gets some money, which you find out is, she says it's from her mom, because no one knows where she gets all this money to buy a house randomly. She just buys a fucking house. And apparently it's haunted. Apparently there's this dude who experimented on people in the basement and I guess chopped them up and melded bodies together and all kinds of crazy stuff. We thought it was pretty fucking spooky. I really like the music in this. There was intense music pretty much the entire time. Like even in like parts that were just talking, there was still like this little beating in the background that just kind of made you uneasy, especially like in the actual in the house when things were happening. The music was great. I think they did the scares really well here. It felt like a haunted house movie for sure, like 100%.
I liked that with Letty, I don't know, basically with all of the characters, you really got a whole sense of what they were going through. With Letty, she is she's going through a whole psychological break type thing. She literally died and came back to life, and she's dealing with it but kind of losing her mind at the same time while also dealing with all this other shit and her house being haunted and everything she's going through.
Yeah, they really showed her mental health draining, I guess is what you're trying to say. And it was really effective in that.
But anyways, I don't know, they they move into a house in an all-white neighborhood, and so we obviously get to see the repercussions. And the show does a really good job of I don't know, I was telling you that when you're going through it, you don't know, you know the house is haunted, but you also know that there's terrifying white people that are trying to kill them and fuck with them. So you never know throughout the entire show whether it's the fucking white people or whether it's ghosts or if it's both, and it's crazy. I don't know, the white people were doing crazy shit.
It's they're getting attacked from both sides, basically.
Literally. Yeah. And you never knew which one it was. They were parking outside of their house with bricks tied to their horns and just constantly having them going. They put a giant cross in the yard and catch it on fire.
You get the scene of when Letty's had enough, after they put the burning cross. Yes. And she goes crazy starts busting shit up, you know.
She fucks them up.
And but then like the cops come and everyone immediately drops to the floor, and you're just like, and you just like, your heart kind of sinks with them. You're just like, damn, like you forget that that's you know, kind of what had to happen, you know, so that they wouldn't die, you know, because if these cops just showed up to this house with these black people, you know, trying to defend themselves, you know, they don't care. Yeah, they probably would have died, and well, still what happens today, honestly, which is what's so relatable with this, is just seeing you see that there's not really much that has changed since that time, other than maybe it's not as in the public, you know. Yeah, it's really sad. It does still happen, but it's not like seen as much. But yeah, no, it definitely is crazy because like, this is like 1960s, 50s, yeah, and so like, I don't know, it's wild to see the racist cops. Like when Letty goes and gets arrested, she's like alone in the cop car with a white cop, and they like, you know, they say that the neighbors have been complaining, and she's like, but did you get the 20 complaints about those neighbors? And he was like, nope, sure didn't. And then he like fucks her up, and like fucking they like drive really crazy and fuck her up to try to get like information on the house that she's living in, but she doesn't know anything. So it's like, what the fuck? And all you think is like, fuck 12, you know? Yeah. Fuck them. And so I guess to touch on like the how it connects to the other episodes, so they show that the guy that owned the house before, the guy that was experimenting on people, was a part of the family that they're or whatever. So now you're starting to get everything's starting to slowly like tie together. You realize how like far this is going, you know, which is pretty cool to see. We're still curious about the basement because the elevator goes down past the basement and into like this cave, and you see like the little symbols, the magic symbols on the wall lighting up, and the bodies of the white neighbors that disappeared. And so you're just like, what? And like a ton of other like skeletons like throughout the hallway. So hopefully they go further into that. I'm sure they will. I was gonna say, I was wondering like where it was gonna go, because it's called, the title of this episode is Holy Ghost, and they started the episode in church, and everyone, you know, it shows everyone singing the hymns and stuff and being together, and then, you know, you start to realize that this is an episode about ghosts, so you're like, oh, okay, Holy Ghost, ghosts, yeah, okay. And then I was wondering, you know, how the scene in the beginning with the church was going to tie into it, and it kind of did at the very end when the ghosts were all in a circle, and there's like this hymn music playing as a backtrack, and all the ghosts are chanting, you know, and it's kind of like how unified they are in church. They were at the end, you know, to get rid of this evil spirit. And so I thought that was kind of cool, just like a little it kind of like tied the whole episode together from beginning to end. Just a little something I noticed. But yeah, I mean, I guess to wrap it up, really great. This series is doing an excellent job at providing like different scares. It's kind of cool that it's like an anthology series where something different happens each episode. So it's really great at like providing different types of scenarios. I'm loving the different monsters. Yeah, different monsters, different horror each time. So really curious to see how this goes, because it's doing an excellent job. Still keeping it 10 out of 10, you know. So we're excited to see what's going to be happening next week in the next few weeks. So hopefully you'll stick around with us. Thanks for listening to us just ramble, basically, about this episode. We really enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll see us next week. Give us a like and subscribe real quick. We're constantly putting out content, so thanks for sticking around. Old Head Mike signing off, reminding you, Never too old for this.
Someday, love will find you. Break those chains and bind